everyone, we're going to solve each equation by factoring. So for the first one, what I want to do is use these guidelines for factoring. And the first thing we want to do is always check for the greatest common factor. So for example, this one right here, technically we could divide each piece by 5. So instead of dividing, what you're really doing is factoring. So I'm going to pull out the 5. But basically we're dividing. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, so you just have w squared. 35 divided by 5 is 7w. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. And you set that to 0. All right. Now it's a lot easier to factor this. So basically we have a 12 that when you multiply we need to get a positive 12. But when you combine it, you get negative 7. And that looks like that's going to be 3 and 4, and they both have to be negative. 2 negatives make a positive 12. So I can factor this now as x minus 3 times x minus 4 equals 0. And then what you do is you set both of these. Well, basically also you can just divide both sides by 5. 5 goes away. So we really don't have to deal with the 5. 0 divided by 5 is just 0. So now we have x minus 3 equals 0. You add 3 to both sides, so you get x equals 3. And we have x minus 4 equals 0. Add 4 to both sides, you get x equals 4. So the way you want to word this is x equals 3 or x equals 4. Now we're going to do the same procedure for the second one. So if you'd like to pause the video and try to do it, the first thing you are going to do is check for your greatest common factor here and divide each of these terms by 3 and then see if you can factor it. You can pause and try to do that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to divide each of these by 3. You can divide everything by 3, but we're not going to lose the divisor. We just factor it out. So we get d squared plus 8d plus 15 equals 0. So what we need is when you multiply something, 2 terms together, you get 15. But when you combine them, you get 8. So that's going to be 3 and 5, and they're both positive. So you're going to write this as 3, d plus 3, d plus 5 equals 0. Now, as before, technically we don't need this 3 because we're just solving. You divide both sides by 3, and 0 divided by 3 is just 0. So we'll just set both of these to 0. And as you subtract 3 from both sides, you get d equals negative 3. And on this one, you get d plus 5 equals 0. If you subtract 5 from both sides, you get d equals negative 5. And then you want to put the or there for the zero product property. Now again, all this means is that you plug in negative 3, you're going to get 0 here, and this is going to be 2. So 0 times 2 is 0. This is what the zero product property says. Similarly, if you plugged in negative 5, you're going to get negative 2 times 0, and that gives you 0. So that's what the product states. So your final answer is right here. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.